Happy Monday. Yes, I hit the button just a few seconds early today. I figured, why wait? Why wait? Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. If it's your first time here, I am Danny, the Niche Lady, and we do this every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, where we pick a topic about reselling. Today's topic, scams, fraud, all those things that cause you sellers to have such anxiety. We are going to talk about those today, what to do about it, how to avoid it, all of that. I don't know if we'll share a couple of horror stories. We might. I don't want this to be a scary session. I want this to be a hopeful session that, this isn't the way it is. This isn't the way it's going to be if you go to resell on eBay or Etsy or any of the other sites that are out there these days. So hello to my lovely people over in the chat. That's the perk of being here live versus watching on the replay is we do have a live chat going on, and you can ask questions about the topic at hand, and sometimes we even go off topic. As if you watch the replays, you know that happens. So I see Linda and Tim and Tracy and Bree and do we have two Brees? Or Bree, Jazz, and Jess, Hansen, and Moran. I don't know what the first name I'm supposed to say there is. Jane, and then my dear Bridgia, and Green to Red, Kim, Donna, the Bruta King, Tiger, my dear Melissa, Gina. Who else is here? Sandy, or Trisha from Sandy and Auto. Hi, Trisha. We've got Vintage and Vino. That is probably Jerry. I don't know if Tim is listening in. I got Kara here, Pamela, Gigi, Melinda, Peaceful Homestead. Oh my goodness, Pamela. Let's see. I think Vicky, Kathleen, Gail, Irish Girl, Maria, Ellen. Did I miss anybody? Deborah. Hello. So good to see you all. I love Mondays. Am I crazy? I love Mondays. It's like I'm a very routine-driven kind of gal, and on weekends, I'm out of my regular routine. I'm out of doing the shipping and sending invoices and yada-yada. And I try very hard to just find myself having some downtime, and I struggle with that. So it almost feels like the weekends are a little bit of a struggle, a lot of guilt, downtime equals, but I could be doing something and all of that. So I love Mondays because now I'm back in the thick of it, working on stuff, getting caught up. Monday's like my get caught up day too. So it's already been a really, really busy one. I have been going at it since 6 o'clock this morning because we are in high triple-digit temperatures here. So beating the heat, getting stuff done that has to be done like outside or in the garage where my shipping is. Yes, yes, yes. My hall music is stuck in your head. I know, isn't that a great song? I get a lot of comments on that song, and I purchased that song from a creator, from a site, and I just wish they had made it longer. So I'm going back to them and saying, can you make me like a 4-minute version of that so I don't have to keep looping it? Would be really great. But yes, thank you for that. I love it too. I want to dance when I hear it. It's very Rocky and Bullwinkle-ish, right? Yeah. All right, so let's dig into today's topic, and that is scams. Now, I run a Facebook group, and many of you are in that Facebook group. If you are not in that Facebook group, I encourage you to come on over to that Facebook group because we really deep dive into a lot of these issues. We solve problems. We help you identify and value things. We have a lot of fun over there. So come on over to the Niche to Profit Facebook group, and we talk into things a lot deeper. But one of the topics that comes up actually almost on a daily basis is the issue of scams. Worried about being scammed, worried about if a transaction is safe, worrying about if somebody is committing fraud on a return. It's a big anxiety for online sellers. And I don't want to minimize the reality of it because it is absolutely something that happens, but let's talk about the reality of it and how likely it is to happen to you. Because remember, social media, most people are over there talking about a problem. Most people are over there talking about something dramatic, because that's just how social media is. People are over there looking to ease anxiety and get validation. So you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff out on social media that doesn't necessarily reflect the quantity or magnitude of the problem. What I mean by that is the problem is a lot less than what it appears to be. Kind of like our mainstream media, talking about all kinds of bad stuff and getting everybody hyped up. Oh God, that was bad of me. Don't go there in the chat. Just don't go there. Couldn't help myself. But yeah, so just keep that first in mind, that if you haven't started on, there is a fly in my office who was not invited to be here. So you might see me swat. If you have not started yet and are feeling that anxiety and thinking like, oh my gosh, there's so much scandalous stuff happening through these sites, and am I going to get scammed? Am I going to lose money? I want to encourage you that there are ways, number one, to prevent it from happening. There are ways to protect yourself, and we're going to talk about those today. So you are safe selling online. You are safe, and the reward is far greater than the risk. Far greater, I can tell you. Gigi's Dream World says, I stopped shopping after I watched your video talking about a death pile. I'm listing now so I don't have a death pile. Thanks for the heads up on that. You are so welcome. That is awesome. I'd love to hear that. If you're watching my most recent videos, actually, I don't know if they're out yet. I never remember, because I'm days ahead on videos, so I don't remember what I said in what video. I remember what I bought, but I don't remember what I said. But what you'll see is that I am being very, very careful now in my shopping to buy things that are my $20 and over profit margins, because I kind of slacked off on that a little bit. Started to get a little too much stuff to deal with. Okay, so let's back. See, I am so easily squirreled over to other topics. I'm going to stay on course here because we got a lot to talk about. All right, so the first thing I want to say is, if you are a fairly new seller, you are a target. I will just point blank tell you, new sellers are a target for some of these scams. And let me tell you about what some of these scams are. So you will get, through your eBay messages, so it looks completely official, someone will say, I'm really interested in your XYZ item that you have listed. Would you take an offer of X amount of dollars? And can you either text me or email me with some kind of a total or some kind of a shipping quote or some kind of a something? They want to get you off of eBay. So the first thing you need to know is, if you ever get one of those messages, and it'll come through eBay, and they are a registered eBay account, what you need to do is don't respond. Do not respond, especially don't respond by texting or calling or emailing. That's for everybody. Don't ever take it off of eBay. But then what you want to do is you want to report that buyer. You want to report them. And I'm going to see if I can show you I've got my screen open over here. I'm not going to share just yet because I don't want to share personal information. Let me, I don't mind shaming this person, so I just might share this one. Stand by. I'm looking to see if eBay gives you a really simple way to report a buyer. Wow, eBay, make this easier. That's all I got to say. I'm trying, I should have done this before I went live because I want to show you how to report a buyer. Hold on. Stand by. If you're on Mercari and someone has posted a crayon for sale for $5, it needs to be reported. Really, is that like the Mercari thing? A crayon for $5 is it? I mean, are literally like they post a crayon for $5? Hold on one second. eBay wants to give me the policy. I know what the policy is. I want to know how to report them. Got it. Okay. I'm going to show you like the rigmarole that eBay's putting me through. And it's really sad that they do this. I really wish they would get this better. Just joined the Facebook group. Got your packing materials. Just need to start. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. What's the worst that can happen? What is the absolute worst that can happen? Think about that. Always think about that. This stuff is just stuff. This is stuff that we have paid. Okay, I paid $6 for Mr. Elephant here. And the worst that can happen is I list this, I sell it to somebody, they pay, I put it in the mail, and they claim they never got it, and there's no tracking or whatever. Do you know what I'm out? I'm out $6. No matter what it's sold for, I'm out $6. So in the scheme of things, it's really minor. So I'm not minimizing your feelings because I understand the anxiety and the nervousness, but I want to minimize the problem and tell you that most transactions are smooth as silk or burlap. We'll go with smooth as burlap. We'll go with that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and kind of show you. I'm really, you know what? I have no problem. I have no problem sharing this. I feel no obligation to protect this user's ID. Just saying. I'm just saying. Because this is the message I got. Okay, now, I don't know if you guys can read that, but I'm not even going to read it out loud, but it's really nasty. That's what I said. I'm being called lazy and neglectful because I'm not fixing my daughter's teeth because I spend money on animals, trips, and thrifting. So I'm letting them grow up with gnarly, crooked teeth. Yes, these are the kind of comments that I get almost on a daily basis. It's pretty pathetic. Don't worry though, you only get these if you're a YouTuber, not just because you're an eBay seller. All right, so I want to report this person. So I did a Google search for report an issue with a buyer. And this is eBay's page. Got to go down. There's really no place really good to report them, but we're going to go with the report a buyer. But now they want an item number. And this is the problem. They didn't actually buy anything from me. It's none of these. And I really shouldn't be showing that because those are all my good buyers. So I can go over here to offering to buy or sell outside of eBay policy, which isn't technically what it is, but where to see it? Go here. Can dispute. Oh, I got to do one of those too, because I got a feedback from someone who didn't even buy the item. It's like, come on. Yeah, so really they don't, it's a big circle. It's a big circle. They just send you around in a big circle. So this is an issue. Now, if it is actually someone who did something, I don't want to reply. I don't want to, they're not going to give a revision. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'll do this after the show. Let me actually show you what they said to me. Let's go over to my feedback here. How about that nice little negative feedback? This was someone who they didn't purchase it. They made me an offer. And you can see I had it for $179.99. They offered $125. I accepted the offer, and then they wanted free shipping. And then they told me to cancel, and I wasn't in any hurry to do that. And they got really upset because I didn't hurry up and cancel. And then they left me a negative feedback when they haven't even paid for this item. So there you go. And oh, here you go. You can report this buyer because and I actually have already done that. So if they've actually entered into a transaction, whether or not they've paid, you can report them. So, and I've already done this. So here's your report. And this one, I think I said made a false claim saying that, you know, I offered free shipping. So let me get back on topic here. Let me just come back here. Because that was all about trying to show you how to report a buyer. And you can see it's not an easy process. But it's important, is where I want to get back around to. Now, I am very vocal with my eBay connections of you have to make this easier. The only way you're going to protect us is if you give us a way to report these abusive people that are on the site, and they don't do that. I mean, it's pretty easy to report a seller, but not a buyer until you get to like this feedback screen. But it's really important to figure out a way because these people need to get a light. That's all I got to say about that. Let me go catch up on the chat over here. The first one who left the message didn't buy anything. They're just hiding behind. Well, it's actually funny because I know who they are. I know who they are. And they're going to be in trouble. I'll just put it that. I don't want to put too much out there because they're probably watching and I don't want to give them any clues as to what's going to happen. But that is an abuse of the eBay messaging system, and it's a big no-no. So that first one that left that really awful message, I'm not worried about. That's going to be taken care of. This other one, I know I'll get the feedback removed, and they've been reported. But good golly almighty, what is going on with people? Okay, I want to know about this crayon thing on Mercari. I don't like Mercari. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I did list some stuff on Mercari, and Mercari switched and put me into that automatic. Actually, the first thing they did is they turned on free shipping, which I don't do free shipping. And so I ended up selling these two really nice puzzles for $25 with free shipping, which wiped out all of my profit. It wasn't the buyer's fault, not the buyer's fault. It's Mercari's fault. And now they've got that lowering the price thing automatically that they switch on. And I just don't trust Mercari. Okay, let's see what you guys are talking about there. Oh, Missy White. Missy White's over on Facebook. Hi. You had two different scammers do that. Yeah, it's a very, very common scam. Very, very common scam. Let's keep it clean over there in the chat, guys. Keep it clean. That's interesting about the crayon thing. Like, what's the point? What's the point of the crayon? Like, I don't understand. Who wants to buy a crayon? I don't understand that one. Some of you guys, if the buyer buys an item, yeah, if the buyer buys an item, you can go under all the orders and for the item. Yeah, if they actually buy the item, you have different ways to do it. But if they're just sending, like this is, let me get back on topic. If they're sending you that message about wanting to purchase an item and wanting to take it off of eBay, it's a little bit tougher, you can see, to actually make that report. But it's super important because you know if they're doing it to you, they're doing it to many other new sellers. So if eBay is not going to be proactive on taking care of this problem, the more of us that are, the better it is to get these people off of eBay. The only reason scammers exist is because people fall for it. And this goes true whether it's an eBay transaction, whether it's a publisher's clearinghouse scam, not the actual publishing clearinghouse, but somebody presenting as the Social Security phone scam. All of those are only big business because people are falling for it. So educating yourself on what the scams are is the first step to avoid and not fall for it and not get like swooped in. So the reason new sellers are a target is, number one, they think you new sellers are so hungry for a sale, you're going to do anything. So I want to encourage you, do not be desperate. Do not be desperate. I wish I had a little thing to pop up here on the screen. No desperation. This is business, okay? Any business worth building is not going to happen overnight. It's not. I'm rethinking my words there. I'm like, I don't even know why I said any business worth building. Any business you are building is not going to happen overnight. There are no overnight successes in any good business. You have to lay groundwork. You have to lay a foundation, and then you have to build. So if you go into this thinking that you're going to start selling $1,000 a month next month, I want you to adjust your expectations. It's not going to happen. I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule if you have like some high price stuff, but eBay is actually not going to let you do that either. They put some limits on you. So you have a new account, which the date is visible. You can see that in your feedback profile. And if you have a low number of feedback, that's also a target. And there's really nothing you can do about those two things except just plunge forward, right? So just expect you're going to get some of those scammy messages and don't even respond. Don't even respond. Just report those people. Take that. It's the one instance I say waste a little time because it is a time waster to have to do it, and go and report these people, because I don't know if eBay's just playing like they don't know how big the problem is, or they truly don't know how big the problem is because people aren't reporting. But if you guys will just report, and that kind of backs up me saying, hey, I'm having my people send these reports. Maybe we can get something done with it. You've seen $200 Cheetos on eBay? Oh, you guys are talking about some, oh yeah, those that target the elderly. Yes, yes. And that's the thing. Data is out there. There are lists and lists and lists and lists of people, and they're, you know, how many times are you asked, like in some survey thing, your age group? Well, there are companies who are selling that data. They're selling it to these scammer, you know, cold calling, robo calling, and you know, if you fall into probably, I would say like a 65 plus age group, you're targeted. You're just targeted. Yes, my grandmother ordered every single thing that was presented to her. Her house, it was, I would call it a hoarder house simply because she was just buying and buying and buying and buying, and every closet and every cubby, and everything was filled with stuff. Most of it new in the package because she just ordered and ordered and ordered. And then they would keep sending her stuff in the mail to order more, and they would be calling her on the phone to order. Yeah, it happens. And it is really, but again, protect your elderly family members and just educate them. Drive it home to them is like, you know what? This could be a scam. Don't fall for it. And if we just give them a little protection with that, educating, I mean, intercede on that phone sometimes and pick it up and put people in their place so they know, not to do it. And I know the problem's never going to go away. But we can try to protect those close to us as much as possible. Okay, so educate yourself on what they do. So what they do is they try to get you to take it off of eBay. So don't ever, scammer, legit customer, whatever it is, don't ever, take anything off of eBay. I get a lot of messages through the eBay system, and it's a real struggle for me because I want to communicate with them, but I can't converse about anything that's not a listed item. And so often I have to ignore those messages, and I don't want to ignore anybody. But I do put my email address down in every description of every video. I'm over on Facebook. There's so many ways to find me other than the eBay messaging system. So please don't anybody do that, especially if it's an item you saw in one of my videos and you want to purchase it. Well, that can get me in big trouble. So everyone, don't communicate on eBay about anything other than an actual item for sale and a transaction, and keep it all very business and all very eBay. All right. So that's how you protect yourself until you get to the point where the scammers start leaving you alone. Until the time comes you want to list an expensive item. So here's the second thing that the scammers like to do. They will go ahead and purchase that item, and then they want to do some other sort of payment method, or they want you to accept a gift card for $100 more than the item, and then just send them the rest, in a check or another gift card, or I don't even know all the creative ways they've come up with this. So here's the way you protect yourself from that. Keep it 100% through the eBay payment system, messaging system. If you don't have local pickup set up, don't offer local. Don't let them say, let me come and get this. Okay. Jamie says, I've had that happen. Someone messaged me on eBay about something in a YouTube haul that wasn't listed on eBay. I didn't know how to handle it. Yeah, the way I handle it is I say, please follow the directions in the video description. I don't like to use buzzwords like contact, email. You could say message, but you got to watch the buzzwords that the little bots are looking for to find the stuff that's happening off of eBay. So just let them know, and have directions down in your video description for how they should be reaching you. That's the best way to handle that. Okay, so eBay gets mad about chatting on eBay. eBay gets mad about chatting on eBay if it's not transaction related. And rest assured, eBay can see everything that goes through that eBay messaging system. And that is good for you, actually, because they can see if you're working with a buyer or a seller. They can see the conversation that has transpired. If you have somebody difficult that you're working with, eBay can see that. They can see the intent behind anything that happens as long as it's through that messaging system. So keep that in mind. It's really good to not take stuff off of eBay, even if it's trying to solve a problem for a buyer. You want eBay to see that flow, but eBay can see that flow, if you know what I mean. All right. You don't think local pickup is safe for a new buyer? Be established first. Local pickup can be perfectly safe. See, this is another one of those things. If done correctly, local pickup is fantastic. You don't have to ship the item. You can sell a big item. You can sell an expensive item. And actually, I think it's better to do local pickup on those items because it's much less likely they can claim item not as described. It's local pickup. You're handing it to them. And the key is they get a code. And when you meet and do the transaction in person, you enter that code that was sent to the buyer, that the only way you can get that code is if the buyer gives it to you. And that way eBay knows, yes, they actually met in person. This happened. And voila, it's a beautiful thing. So I love local pickup. I love local pickup. But be safe as well. I mean, we are living in times where you have to be very aware of what's going on. Meet in a public place, may I even say inside a public, like a fast food restaurant, or inside the post office, or in front of a police station. I say in front of a police station because believe me, there's cameras and there's coming and going of cops. Much less likelihood that somebody's going to do any hanky-panky at a police station. Be safe about it. Meet where you are not in danger in any way, and then do that transaction. Oh, there's one. Yeah, so you list it online and you would get checks in the mail, frog, for $1,500 over the price, wanting that you to send them $1,400 to their shipping company. Yeah, fake checks. Yep. Fortunately, we just are not a check writing society anymore. So that little scammy thing is kind of fallen by the wayside. But there's always going to be creative scammers. Always, always, always. Yeah, don't bring anybody to your home. Do not do local pickup at your home. Now, the thing with that is, I don't know. I haven't purchased anything for so long. Can you see the seller's address, shipping information before you get the package? Does anybody know? I have a P.O. box. I don't have a return address that is my home on my packages. Just don't do it. I used to. I never had a problem with it before. But the world is changing. So I'm just saying. Oh, some police stations have parking spots just for transactions. There you go. There you go. So I used to sell furniture, lots of furniture on eBay, because I had a big old consignment store, and that's a whole nother story. But the other thing is I would use uship.com. So it's not technically local pickup. It is still shipping. But we would make the listing as local pickup only, and in the description say, we'll ship using uship.com services. I think you can, I don't even know if you can say uship.com in descriptions anymore. I'd have to check on that. But then your buyer contracts with the shipping company, and so the shipping company becomes the what do you call it, the middleman kind of person who is inspecting the item, picking it up, signing it off, giving you that code, so to speak. So it doesn't just have to be local pickup. It can be things that need to be shipped, that large things and such, and you just have them contract with the shipping company like uship.com, who now if there's any issues, it's between them and the shipping company. Your part is done. Bloop, done. Okay. So you just had a scammer with tons of warnings from sellers on his account, warning that he'll claim not as described, get his refund, and won't return the item. He tried to buy a $200 item from you. That's crazy. How does he have tons of warnings from sellers on his account? Are you talking about through feedback? Because the sad thing is that the sellers who leave anything but positive feedback can be the ones that get in trouble. It's like if you have beware of the dog signs on your gate and a burglar jumps over your fence and gets bit by your dog, you can be liable. Which makes no sense to me. None. But apparently eBay is a little bit like that too. So, but you just gotta be aware. So here's now, let's go into that next avenue of scammy scammers, since you just talked about it there. And that's more fraud as opposed to scam. So if somebody is purchasing items and they get the item and then they want to claim it as either not as described, or they want to switch it out for the one they broke or that doesn't work right and send that back. Now we're getting into something that is called fraud, and it is mail fraud. And this is what a lot of sellers don't know that they can do. You may not always get your money back, but this is a way to improve your chances of that. So buyer buys, they get the item, they open item not as described, and they let you know. Either they open the case or they message you. The first thing you want to do is take a deep breath. And remember, this is not personal, it's business. You are the CEO of your company. This is just coming across your desk as an issue that has to be dealt with in your company today. It's no big deal. We're just going to deal with it, right? So if you're feeling a knot, if you're feeling that anxiety, if your adrenaline is rushing, don't handle it right that second. I have something like that I have to handle right after this show. And it has to do with a restaurant that charged my card when they weren't supposed to. So, but I was so mad when I first saw it that I'm like, ooh, I gotta take a breath before I deal with this. So that's what I encourage you to do. Kind of give yourself time to be that CEO, to look at it without all of that adrenaline affecting your brain flow. Because that can make us say and do things that may not serve us well in the long run. All right, you guys know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay, so you look at it, and the first thing you want to do is say, because this is customer service, you don't want to assume that somebody is scamming you right off the bat. And I see a lot of that happening. Every single item return case or message from a buyer, I automatically see people going, they're scamming me. They're scamming me. And they're not all scamming you, okay? There are good people out there that legitimately get something that you may have missed something in the listing, or it isn't what they expected. Maybe your pictures were not as good as they could have been, or it broke in shipping. Those are all legitimate things that can happen to any transaction that we do. So let's address the first thing we say back to the person. And this is customer service 101. I am so sorry your item didn't arrive as expected. I like expected. Please, if you could send me pictures of the item, the damage, and the packing materials, I will be happy to open a claim with the delivery service. Thank you. Now, one of two things is going to happen. Either they are going to come back with pictures showing the item, showing, often this happens if it's broken or something, and you're going to go, oh, wow, that really did break. That's a bummer. Now you have your pictures and you open the claim and you just deal with it, okay? That's going to happen. Or you look at it and go, that is not the item I sold them. Now, if you can prove that, and really good pictures is a way that you do that. This is why I also encourage really good pictures on your listings with details. Any kind of little discrepancies in what differentiates your item from another item. In electronics, Serial number, so important. Serial numbers on anything that has a serial number. Now, granted, there are scammers that will go as far as taking the little plate off of one item and putting it on another, but generally, not so much. Okay, so to the item that is not what you shipped, you come back with, I'm sorry, you must have me confused with another seller you purchased from, as that is not the item that I shipped to you. If you wish to pursue this case, I will have no choice but to file mail fraud charges with the authorities. Thank you very much. Now, you want to be sure it actually is not the item. You know, you want to be sure. And then you do just that if they still insist that it is the item and they want their money back. Okay, Melissa, help me out here. What is the website for reporting the online transaction fraud? IER, INR, something like that. Somebody knows. I know somebody knows. So whoever knows that, let me know over there. So what you want to do is you want to go, or if they ship an item back, if you accept the return, the item comes back and you discover it's not the one that you shipped, this is what you do. You go file a report. This is before you contact eBay. You file the report claiming that this is mail fraud, that they are pulling one over on you. So you actually have a report. Now you go to eBay and you let them know that you filed this report, because now they take you seriously. Now they don't think that, because you got to look at it from eBay's perspective. They don't know you personally. eBay is a corporation with, is it hundreds or thousands of employees? I would say they might even have thousands of employees. It's a big company with lots of different departments. They don't know you. Again, it's not personal. Anything that happens between you and eBay is not personal. They don't know you. They don't know your life circumstances. They don't know how important that money was to you. And frankly, they don't care. eBay has a bunch of employees who are clocking in the morning and clocking out at night, and your future is not on their mind. Like, it has nothing to do with them getting a paycheck. So you just got to know that. And they get many sellers trying to pull one over on them, saying, hey, this isn't the item that I sold, when in fact it is. So that's what I'm saying. They need a little more than your word. Your word just doesn't hold weight. Is it FBI? It's not FBI.gov, is it? Wait a minute. No, there's a special site. Hold on. Hang on. There's a special site. I really should be more prepared before I do this. Is it the FTC? It's FTC, I believe. Maybe? Yes, I think so. I'm looking. Wow. Here we go. Okay, let me share my screen. So this is ftc.gov, and I just kind of got to this screen, online shopping, and there you can file the report. I'm not reading all of this, but there you go. That's the way you do it. But the important thing is that you file this report, and now eBay takes you seriously. That's what they want to see. They want to see that you are really standing behind what you're saying. And so that's the way to get eBay to back you up. Now, I saw some of the comments over there that you guys say, yeah, I never get paid on an insurance claim. And again, details are everything. You want to make sure when you're filing that insurance claim, because remember, look how many shippers are filing those claims that really shouldn't be filing those claims. So that's why the post office has gotten stricter about what they're going to do. knock on wood, have had 95% of claims paid. There's one I'm still fighting where it was an art print and the postal worker folded it in two. It's like, how can you not pay on that claim? Come on. Yeah, so you have to prove that you had shipped it in a way that it should have gotten there. And that's that 2 to 3 inches, whether you use packing peanuts or bubble wrap or paper or whatever it is, you need 2 to 3 inches between the edge of that item and the box interior. And a lot of sellers are not giving that leeway. That's the leeway that's going to help with shock absorption. Now, this is why I'm not a fan of paper. Paper is less likely to withhold the shock of tumbling and dropping and all of that, where packing peanuts absorb that shock. And I get a lot of flack for still using packing peanuts. But I can tell you, 23 years of doing this now, my breakage rate of things going is, I can count it on one hand. We're talking thousands of packages of glass and antiques and porcelain and pottery. I can count on one hand the items that have not made it. And that's usually, I can go back and go, you know what? I was trying to cut a corner and squeeze it into a box that was a little bit too small, or something that I did. Almost always is something I did not to get that item there. So, oh, take pics of expensive items before you seal the box. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what to do when an item has been delivered internationally and the buyer complains that he did not receive it. So if the tracking shows that it was received, because I'm assuming that for you to say it's been delivered internationally, you see on the tracking that it's delivered, and they say they did not receive it, it's up to them to track it down. That's how you say, I'm so sorry, please check with your postal service. Or if it's overseas, I say check with customs. Sometimes they don't want to pay the VAT fee and it's sitting there waiting for them to pay that fee. I just use the global shipping program now for that. I don't even want to deal with it. Global shipping program. All I got to do is get it to Kentucky. That's it for me. So, okay, so let's suppose that's true, Sherry. So USPS lost a $75 tea set. eBay gave the seller the money back, but I'm guessing she still got the tea set too because it still has not shown up. Okay, so be it. If the seller's made whole with the money, then that's on the buyer's karma. But really, it's the post office then that, the money should go back to, which nobody is going to do that. Let's face it, nobody's going to give the post office back their money. But as long as seller's made whole, it is what it is. And that's a personal integrity thing of that buyer. If it were me, honestly, I'm not sure I'd give the money back to the post office, but I would probably go give that money to charity somewhere. Just get the good karma flowing. Because is there even a process to give the post office back that money is what I'm thinking. There's probably not even a process in place to give them back that money. Yeah, and most sellers don't understand the process. Like she's saying, the post office wanted the shipping receipt from it being mailed, but she was the buyer, and the seller kept telling her, I didn't need that. The post office hears that I did. I just said, forget it. So what are we referring to, Gigi? Hold on. Stand by. Let me go. I got to scroll up here and see what you are referring to, because this looks like an ongoing story. I see you're trying to get a claim. I don't know what in particular that had to do with. So it is up to the seller to file the insurance claim, not the buyer. If you're the buyer, you stay on top of that seller because it is up to them to file the insurance. Insurance is to protect the seller, not the buyer. So if you were the buyer, I'd have just stayed on them. I'd have never said just forget it. Never said just forget it. See, I can see us going off on a tangent about shipping, and I don't want to do that. We have 10 minutes left, and shipping is a whole nother show. So we're not going to go into that. So let's kind of just recap and make sure everybody's got what they need to avoid the scams and the fraud and the bad juju on eBay. That is number one. Do not take a conversation outside the eBay messaging system. If someone says text me or email me, do not even respond. Report that eBay user to eBay. Okay, that's number one. And here's another way to report. Now, they'd probably be a little upset with me putting this out to 28,000 of my subscribers, but go to the eBay for Business Facebook page and send them a message and then when you do that, make sure you include your eBay user ID, your registered user address, email address, and your zip code. And then give them the information of the user and what the issue is and how they're contacting you. I would say that's probably a streamlined way to do it, where you're actually getting to one of the team of, I think it's 12 people that run that page. Okay, so do that. Let's just start bombarding them with these bad eBay users. Okay, so there's the first thing. The second thing, somebody buys the item and then they claim it's not what they received. Again, start with that customer service. Say, I'm so sorry, it didn't meet your expectations. Take the return. I'm just going to tell you, people, take the return. Don't battle the return process. Just take the return. And if it's broken, don't ask them to return it. If it's broken, you ask for pictures. If they want a refund, you get that item back before you refund. I cringe when I see a new seller has refunded someone before getting the item back. So don't do that. You get your item back before you send them any money. And then if the item comes back and it is not the item that you sold to them, I would first give the benefit of the doubt and I would send a message and I'd say, hey, I think there's some confusion here, and let them know it's not the item that you sold to them, and see how they want to go forward with that. Maybe they'll just say, oh, you're right, never mind, or something. But I would give them the benefit of the doubt, see what they have to say. If they push the issue and it's not the item, you go file that report with the ftc.gov and you get it in the system, and then you take that report information and you go over to eBay and now you say, look, I filed the report. We got a problem here. Yep. Don't do that. Don't do what? Don't do what? Heidi, what are we saying? Don't do that. As far as having them ship the broken item back. Yeah, don't ship a broken item through the mail. That's not good. You just need really, really good pictures, and also let the person know. And I hate this because this is such a pain in the patootie, but let them know to hold on to the package and materials and the broken item, as they may require them to take it into the post office to be inspected. And that just is what it is. And I know it's really hard to get buyers to do that, but let them know that is the quickest way to get their refund, is if they will cooperate and do that, unfortunately. That's true too. You tell them with the refund process, you say, I'd be happy to refund once it comes back in the same condition as shipped. Here's another little thing you can do to protect yourself. Okay, there is such a thing as called an invisible marker. It's invisible. You do not tell your buyers you are putting that on your packages. When you get a return back, you look for your invisible marker. Now, on an expensive item, snap a little picture of where it's located on the item. And if that item is returned, and you can snap another picture and show No invisible mark here. That's going to help your case too. It's just like being in a court of law. Think of it. You got a judge who's only getting the information they're given. It's how well you present your case. All right. But don't spend a lot of time on these little petty, $10 here, $20 here. For me, it's under 50 bucks. It's like, it's not worth a lot of time to deal with this because time is money. You could be listing another $50 item and getting it sold. So really choose your battles on this. But if it's something legitimate and a lot of this fraud happens in higher dollar amount items, yeah, go for it. Do what you need to do. I believe, yeah, you can get them on Amazon. Just go look for invisible ink marker. Yep, you betcha. And don't tell buyers it's there. Don't tell them, because then they can go buy one. And the trick is of being able to say when it comes back where it is on the item, because scammers are good. They're going to get those invisible markers and they're going to put a dot somewhere and hope, that it passes muster. And so don't tell them where it's at. Do you pay for the return shipping on the damaged item and add that cost? Don't ask for a damaged item back. That's the thing. Don't ask them to send back a damaged item. You don't want a damaged item back. They keep the damaged item. So no, on an item that's not damaged, that's just not as, they're saying not as described, they just want to return it. Yeah, ultimately you are going to pay that shipping. Don't fight it. Just pay it and deal with it once it returns. Tracy B says, I had this happen 2 weeks ago. Item broken, had to take to USPS and hand it over to them, made my claim, got a receipt, and now the seller has to file a claim. I'm waiting for a refund. Yep, that's how it works now. I'm sure you made that seller really happy that you actually did that. Would eBay tell someone to keep an item when the buyer was supposed to return? I've heard it happening. I fight tooth and I am a fighter. Okay, so if they do that, I'm going to fight. I'm going to be that squeaky wheel that gets the grease. I am not going to let that one rest with eBay. Then eBay needs to give me the money. That's how I say it. Yeah, it's black light. Yeah, you see it under black light. And we all have black lights, right? Come on. We got this. All right. Are we good? Does everybody feel prepared to avoid the scammers now and the fraudsters? We have our policy and our methods in place to deal with this stuff when it comes at us. Take the emotion out. It's okay. It is okay to be upset, but don't let it consume you. Give yourself 5 minutes to be upset. 5-minute rule. Yell, scream, curse, whatever it is you do when you're upset for 5 minutes, set a timer, and then let it go and deal with it. Just let it go. Thank you, Bree, for posting the Facebook group. Yeah, come on over to the Facebook group. I mean, we will not just help you through these little problems that come up, but we are going to help you with the emotions around it, help you with staying logical as opposed to emotional in these circumstances. And we're going to celebrate your wins too, because I think that's super important. We're going to celebrate when you sell the $500, boopity boop thing that you bought for $5 at Goodwill. Like, we're all going to celebrate that with you, especially when all goes well and you get the positive feedback. Yeah, there's bad buyers out there. There's always going to be bad buyers out there. That's just it. How does it go? Grant me the patience to accept the things I cannot change. Wait, come on. Somebody else knows this. I haven't recited this for a while. Grant me, accept the things I cannot change, and something to know the difference. Oh, I screw this stuff up. It's the serenity prayer, okay? The serenity prayer. I mess these things up. It's all part of going live, right? Grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There we go. Thank you. I just needed a little nudge. It's a really, really powerful, you call it a prayer if you pray. I call it a saying if you like sayings, but put that in front of you, because that is all about what running a business is. You know, things are there that we cannot change. eBay policy is there. We got to work with it. All of this stuff is there. We just have to deal with it, put our own policies in place, and keep our head level and have fun, right? On Seller Hub, in Shortcuts box, report a buyer. I'm going to look at that really quick before we end. That'll be a good way to end this. I'm in my Seller Hub. Let me look. Okay. Let me share my screen real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Report a buyer. Oh, it is in Shortcuts. Look at that. Boom, diddy, boom. Of course, then they want you to select an item number of that. So that's if they actually did the transaction. So thank you for that. That helps a lot, I am sure. Everybody should have Seller Hub now. It's a fantastic place. Oh, don't forget, everyone who has an eBay store of basic or greater, use your second quarter shipping coupon, which expires in 2 days. You got 2 days to order those shipping supplies. You get that coupon, that's some free money. Go use that. Nothing else, get some tape. All right. Thank you, everyone. By the way, a big, huge thank you to all of you who are subscribing and watching and making this channel possible. I just reached 28,000 subscribers, and I still pinch myself that this is happening. It's amazing. I do get a really good income off of the YouTube channel itself, which makes it possible for me to put out all the content and just keep going with it and help as many people as possible. So just thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. I even appreciate those of you who watch and leave me nasty comments and thumbs down, because you know what? Still helps the channel. So keep on keeping on. I started this channel, I believe, 8 years ago, but I did not get serious about the channel until December 2019. So I have been doing daily content since December 2019. And I can't even believe I've done a video every single day for what, a year and a half now. It's all good. It's all part of the routine now. So, all right. You know what? I think what we'll talk about next week, and somebody will have to remind me, let's talk about returns. Let's do it. That'll carry on this conversation. We can talk a little bit more about shipping. So we're going to do that next week. Same time, same place. And until then, go be profitable and make it fun. And we will see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.